Hey viewers, and in this week's video we're going to be doing a very special project, which is going to be your very own design portfolio, because ultimately you want to go out there, get some work. So let's get into the video. So if you've been following this channel since December last year, we've been making projects. Now is the time to put them all together into your very own portfolio and go out and get some work. Now, if you recently been to the Figma Config 2021 conference, it was a pretty good conference, and before we get into that, just wanted to show you what we're going to be designing and potentially building. Now, this is something that I built. So this is a very simple portfolio. Here I've got the main heading, paragraph, a CTA, and then as we scroll down, some of you are probably familiar with some of these designs because I've done this since the channel in December last year, and you can learn all of these designs, and I'm picking the ones that I think are quite relevant to what I'm trying to get, which is design systems, working with startups, helping companies with their user interfaces, etc. So again, I picked out 6 pieces, and then I just have a simple footer with social media, and the CTA here, again, it's why would they want to contact me? Well, I'm offering a free 30-minute free consultation, and again, this is just very simple stuff, but the nice thing about this is responsive as well, so you can actually get a little peek there. So here is going responsive, and again, this will be on mobile, and it's very simple, very clean. This is something that we're going to design, but we're going to do this from a design system, and a design system is a huge thing. There's just so many things that go into the design system. There's a lot of documentation, like getting started, how do different users use the design system, designers, developers, stakeholders. The design system is a huge subject, but we're just going to start off with a very simple base. So anyway, before we get into that, I just wanted to quickly talk about the reason behind this video. So a recent talk on the Config 2021 by John, and he is a senior product designer at Squarespace. So he recently gave a talk, Design for Code. Design files aren't your final output, software is. Design files should mirror how the feature will be implemented. So he's specifically talking about a feature within Squarespace, for example, but this can be applied to making websites. So ultimately the flow is, so yeah, just to show you the process. So for example, what I'm going to outline for this week's challenge is building or designing a very simple base design system, and we've done this on previous videos, but now we're going to put this all together. So we're going to have type, spacing, a grid, color, feather icons, and these are very simple things. We're not going to do the whole scale, we're not going to do so many different grids, we're just going to keep it simple. And then we're going to make a component, which is going to be the card, and then we're going to do views or pages, which is the home page. And then what he's done is you then go into prototype. So when you prototype, you then show stakeholders, users, but potentially we're going to build this portfolio, which I've already done. But if I could get 10 likes in 72 hours, then I'm going to do a video where I'm going to show you how to do it HTML, CSS, and it's actually not that hard. It's actually quite simple. If you can do these things in Figma, then 100% you can definitely do it in HTML and CSS, and you can build it yourself. So what we're also going to try and do is we're going to try and time this, right? So for example, if this goes over, let's say 20 minutes, then I'm going to try and split the videos. So if I was to get the Pomo timer up, so Pomo timer, so I know 30 minutes might be the time. Let me just see if I can set this settings, and the Pomodoro, actually, is it 20 minutes? Not 30 minutes, it's 20 minutes. Okay, so 20 minutes, 5-minute rest. Okay, so let me see if I can get out of settings. Okay, so we hit play. Okay, so we got 20 minutes. We're going to create a very simple base design system. So where do we begin? So first we hit the T tool and we just click on the screen. Straight away the font I'm going with is Inter and 16 and 24. It must have remembered this from here, and this is going to be the base size. So what I'm going to call this is FS base, and I'm just going to put in some details. So this is going to be 16 pixels. This is just for us to reference later on if we're going to build it, and it's 24 line height. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate that, and now we're going to have large, and large is going to be 24 pixels with the line height of 32 pixels. Duplicate it again, and we're going to go extra large, and it's going to be 32 pixels with a line height of 40. And a lot of this referencing can be from Tailwind CSS. There's a lot of different systems out there. When I say systems, frameworks, CSS frameworks, there's Bootstrap, Material. You can reference the ones that you intend to use. I'm going with Tailwind. So when I reference, these are going to eventually be class names that you use when you're styling in CSS. Anyway, so now we've got 3 simple text sizes. We've got the base, the large, and the extra large. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to create these into text styles. Okay, so the way to do that is, actually before we do that, we just want to make sure that the we actually have to do that here. So 24, the line height of 32, and this is going to be 40, and that's going to be a line height of 40. Ooh, sorry, I'm getting my numbers wrong. So this is 24, this one is, but actually no, we actually want the font size, if I remember, we want it to be 40. We're jumping up just to have a bit of contrast, and then a line height of 48. Okay, that's better. 24, 32, 40 and 48. I'm going to shift A just to organize this, space it out a bit better. There's spacing of 40. So we have a very simple type scale. Okay, so I'm just labeling that. Just double click on that, and we're probably just going to copy these two, and we're going to create a text style. So we just click the plus here, we paste that in, and we're done. And then similarly with this one, we're just going to go in and copy, and we're going to go in and we are going to hit the plus, and we're going to paste. We're going to go in, going to copy, we're going to go here, and we are going to paste. Okay, so we got 3 simple sizes. Now another little tweak that we can do is we want to also have a separate text style for when it's a bolder font. So if I was just to duplicate that one, and this one, if I break it, I want that to be semi-bold. Okay, and then from there we just then have to hit the plus, and here I'll put in, and then we just slash semi, always say font semi-bold, create style. Okay, so when I put in that slash in the naming, what it's done is already put it within this category, which I think is pretty cool. So this is something different from the previous videos, but we're having separate text styles for bold, and this is mainly for the heading. Okay, so we've done our very simple type scale. The next thing is about spacing, and there's not really going to be a component or styles for this, but it's good to point this out. So spacing, hit the F key, and we're going to go 6 or 8 by 8 is the building block basically for spacing. We're using the 8-point system. So again, we're going to color this dark. We can go here, and in that frame we are also going to have a reference, so 8 pixel. Again, we're using our styles. We just say the base, and we're going to select both, and we're going to hit Shift A. We're going to align this. We're going to align this. Let's just see. So if I was to switch that over there, okay, and then duplicate that, and then Shift A, stack it, and then this one we're just going to increment it to 16. We just change that to 16, and this is our spacing system, and this is mainly a reference guide. So again, we duplicate that, and we're just doubling up 32 pixels. This one again, we just need to say 32. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump, and so we're going to go up to 160, and 160 is, if I so 160, and what this gap is going to be is mainly for gaps between sections, or it's going to be, for example, like here, it's going to be this gap here and this gap here. So you'll see it on websites where they have gaps between or padding here. I didn't explain that very well, but that is going to be quite a big gap. So if I go back, so this is our very simple spacing system, and this is just mainly for referencing. So probably it'd be better if I just align this. And this is just getting into the little tiny details. Okay, so that's fine. So we have our spacing system on the 8-point grid. And then the next thing is we're going to have a grid system, and it's 2 columns and on a breakpoint of 1024. So what does that mean? So right now the gallery of images is on a 2-column grid, and then when I go down to mobile, it's just a very simple 1 column. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the F key, and what I'm going to choose is, let's say MacBook Pro, because that's what I'm on, and we are going to then create a grid. So hit the plus key, we're on the 8-pixel grid, and then what we're going to do, and one thing to note is if you're nudging stuff by spacing, you can set the preferences. So you can go to the Figma icon, preferences, you can say nudge amount, and by default it's 10 pixels, but I put 8 pixels. So that's just a very quick thing there. So if I go back to the grid, we're going to have a column of 2, we're going to have a gutter of 16. Again, we're using that spacing system with a margin of 16. And when you do that, straight away it's fluid, and this is exactly how it's going to be on the web. And then what we're also going to add, just as a little reference, is recently I did the 8-point vertical grid. So for example, here you got 8, and you got from top you also got 8. We need to do 1,000. And recently there was a comment about a 4-pixel grid, which is even better, mainly because of line height. And for example, I put 4. So Google Material, they use this system of an 8-point grid system for spacing, for font sizes, and there's also a 4-point grid system which is for vertical spacing, line heights. It gets quite deep, you can search it up, but this is a very, very simple layout grid that we've just created. And then what you can do is you can hit the plus key. Oop, no, you go here, and we just call it to grid calls to, and this is in reference to Tailwind. Okay, so create style. And then the other thing to consider is also mobile. So hit the F key. We are going to go to iPhone and we're going to choose 8. Okay, so again, referencing what I've done, it's just a very simple one column. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, it's not really, well, we go to layout grid, 8 points. It is going to be a one column and it's going to be 16 margin. There's no gutter because it's one. Oh, actually, gutter. Yeah, gutter 16. Okay, I'll leave that at 16. Okay, so mobile is just a one column, and that is pretty simple, right? And do we have to get in the vertical grid? Why not? Why not? So we go to rows, we go to 1000, we go to 4, and we go to 4. Okay, and then we hit the 4 icons and we go to grid col 1. Grid col 1, such a thing? Not really. Grid col 1. Okay, so are we're nearly coming up to 20 minutes. So we've done our very simple time scale, we've done a reference to spacing system, we've done a grid for the a large screen, which is 2 columns, and then when we go to a mobile, or actually when we start from a mobile, it's a 1 column, and then when we go up, which is 1024, we're going to then see a 2 column layout. Very simple. And then what else are we going to do? We're going to do a color scale. Okay, so 900, 600, 100. So what is this color scale? So again, I'm going to go here. I am going to go into F, and I'm just going to pick out a color scale. So what the color scale that I'm using is from Tailwind CSS. And for example, you can find their files in the Figma community, or you can head over to their website. And again, I'll just bring this down here. So let's go to text color. And they're using the RGB. So here, I'm just gonna see if it will remember these values, copy these values over. And here I'll go to fill. Can I copy that? No, that's a shame, you can't copy it. So I'm going to go back into here. So it's 2. No, this might be easier if I do it like, no, it won't be. It won't be. I can't split these. This is probably going to take ages to do, but 233, 244, 246. Okay. 233, 244, 246. Probably got that totally wrong. 243, 243, 244, and 246. Great. So that is a grey 100. And we are going to quickly create a color style for that. So here, I'm going to hit the plus key. We're going to say grey 100. We're just going to duplicate that. We're going to break that one, and now the next scale up is going to be 600. Okay, and I'll show you why in a minute. So again, if we find 600, 75, 85, 99. So 75, 85, 99. Did I get that right? 75, 85, 99. And that is correct. Okay, so that is going to be text gray 600 plus, hit the plus key, text gray 600, and we've got 5 minutes left. Duplicate that, break that, and now we're going to get number 9 on the scale, and that is 17, 24, 39. So that is 17, 24, 39. Did I get that right? 17, 24, 39. Cool. And we're going to create a color style for that. So text, no, actually not text, gray 900. Did I say 900? Yes. Okay, let's change that because we're going to actually use these for background colors, for example. Okay. So, is there anything? Feather icons. Wow. Okay, we're getting there. So, feather icons, they, just to show them on the web, let me go to feather. Just bring that up a bit. So, feather icons, again, Tailwind have their own, which is Hero SVG, which is another great one. But why don't we use something different? This is very popular as well. They also have social media. So let's say YouTube, for example. I think that's pretty cool. And if we go into Figma, we can go to the community. If I remember how, go to home. And let's search for feather icons. Okay, so if we go here, so this person has provided the feather icons, feather plane. Thank you very much. And what you can do is you can duplicate this. So again, 260 icons, we can just check it out. So again here, they provided all the icons, web app. Wow, there's a lot of icons here. So again, just checking feather icons. And that is the one. Again, we go back to the web. Okay, just checking everything out. You can download one when we're building, but we're going to go back to the community, and we again just making sure I found the right one. Plugins, feather icon plugins. Interesting. We can use the plugin. Yeah, why don't we use the plugin? Why don't we use the plugin? Well, if we go back to files, feather icons. Oh, she's feather icons and unicorns library. Wow, so there's a bunch of different ones. But what we're going to do instead, we're not going to go crazy, right? We're going to pick the ones that we actually need. So the ones that we need are the social icons. So we're going to download YouTube, we're going to download Instagram, and we're going to download Twitter. And we just have to bring that over into Figma. Okay, and then what we're going to do is once we have all of these, we can create multiple components. And just to see as well, so you can actually rename all of these. So if I right click and then hit the rename, we can rename it to feather. Oh, my time is going. / current name. So if I rename, you can see here it's got feather, 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 and then we got all our icons. Probably need to remove the number 4. Don't know why we got 4 in there. And the timer has gone. Okay, but we probably just about made it combine as variants. Let's do that as well. Okay, so you got Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So we've actually did a very simple base design system. Again, we got a tight scale, we got some icons, we have a spacing system, we have a very simple color system, and then we have a very simple grid. And the reason why we got 3 grays, just to show you again with the live build, just get rid of that. So when it comes to typography and grays, this background here is a very light gray, which is gray 100. You want the heading to stand out, which is grey 900. You don't want a full black text, that's quite harsh on the eyes. And then for visual hierarchy, we've put a mid grey on here, which is grey 600. So that's why having 3 greys is quite a good system to have. Again, there's a full scale of 9, but again, we're keeping it simple. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell. And what we're going to do on the next one is start creating a very simple component and then doing the view for the home page. So again, the whole purpose of this is creating a very simple base design system. And the reason why it's good practice to do this is because if you join a team or big company, it's very likely they have a design system, and getting used to working with the design system and then using their components and then creating views to then show stakeholders and then working with developers to then build it. So, but we're actually going to go through that whole process. So again, don't forget, 10 likes in 72 hours on this video. I'll do a third video, which is building it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.